the culture menu.
Is it good to be back on the couch?
It's good to be back on the couch. We've had a nice little break.
Yeah, we've had a good 4 weeks, a good month.
Yeah, for sure. And
The vid was getting close.
the vid had some people touched. Got some people touched.
The vid touched some folks.
He touched some folks.
Yeah.
So we just had to and it was cool. I mean, Christmas was very different. This is the first Christmas though in COVID that we had to separate as a family.
Last year too.
No, not really.
What did we even do last year for Christmas? Well, it was Phoenix first Christmas.
Yeah, but everybody was together. Grandma Dorothy, everybody was there.
Okay.
Granddad even came.
That's the crazy part, right? You barely even these holidays just kind of come and go, and you forget them. I don't really. I mean, I have memories from them, of this last one, but the one before that. If I took a second, so I found some pictures, I'm sure I'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of things. That's how people's memory is sparked a lot of the time is pictures.
Photos?
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
if someone was like, oh, this is the last time we hung out, I'd be like, oh, I do remember that day.
Mhm.
Now, you ask me, when's the last time we hung out? I'd be like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Dang. Okay. So you know how photos spark really good memories, but they say smell is even stronger than the visual. In regards to what's it called? Pulling back memories.
Yeah.
And so imagine, right? Say you had jars of scents, of smells of certain whatever the heck it was, right?
Right.
The time you went out to a lake, and then the only time you ever used sunscreen. And so every time you smell sunscreen, it takes you back to that time on the lake.
Okay.
Whatever. It's an easy example.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just saying.
What smell would you put in a jar?
It's this, the first thing that came to my mind was when I was younger, so elementary, early elementary. So maybe first grade, around that time, maybe kindergarten. There was this weird pine saw smell that I remember being at this school that I hated. And it was just that smell, pines, but it's not specifically.
Shout out to school.
Nah, it was just I was always uncomfortable.
Shout out to school.
I think it was Escuela.
Oh, okay.
But Escuela is school, but the name it was
in LA. It was
a
Escuela.
private school.
Mm-hmm.
But it was this pine saw smell that to this day I rarely ever smell it, but just maybe a couple months ago I got a weird whiff of it, and it snaps me back to that school that I just hated being at.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are you snap back into the lunchroom? Are you snap back into the hallways? Where you snap back?
I'm snapped back to the classroom, walking into the classroom and crying.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, walking through the classroom door. Because I still remember the first day Mom dropped me off, I was not having it. I was I don't want to be here. So I stuck with it. And every day I had to go, I kind of was oh, I just don't it was Miss, I don't know if it's the teacher or what, Miss Ouija.
Oh, wow. I remember that name.
Yeah.
I feel you always did that, though. You always played that card. When you don't want to do something, you just you just start
I didn't want to do it.
You be I don't want to. And I feel you always did that. And it used to make me mad because they would force me and they would just allow you to do your.
Yeah, but that also turned into it later down the line. It was a bad habit I developed because if I didn't want to go to a class, I wouldn't go to the class.
Right.
And then that turned out to not work out. But then but that was something that then I was okay, I recognized it.
Yourself
I had to
on.
self-correct for sure.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but it's interesting how your young habits develop.
Yeah, for sure.
They follow you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or when you're doing something you shouldn't be, and you be like, dang, I've been doing this throughout my life. I need to change that up.
I don't know. What have you been? I don't have that. What are you talking about? Let's unpack that. What do you mean? No, give us an example. I don't know what you mean.
There's little things where I was I just think about when Mom asked me what my grades were, and I had gotten some C's or whatever, and at that time I was still young, so it wasn't really acceptable. But I remember acting I was upset, made her more so comfort me rather than and not focus on the grade. So I used to do that shit all the time, dang, Mom, I got an F, and I used to really try.
I got an F, and I tried my hardest.
Yeah, I was Mom, I really tried. I just think I'm not. And then she gave me tutors and stuff, and it just wasn't even about that. It was just I wouldn't go, or I just didn't care. Yeah. And I used to, you knew, me and my teachers, we rarely got along. There was something about me and my energy that teachers couldn't handle.
Man, I just thought about it. I was if you get an F in a class, there's no way you can say you tried your hardest.
Yeah.
if you try your hardest, I think and I say the hardest because if you say I tried my hardest,
Yeah.
I think your minimum grade could be probably D.
Yeah, I feel like teachers give Fs when they're like.
An F is no effort put in on your part, or that you and the teacher just. Nah, I mean you can only get an F by like not doing it, not doing what you're just not doing anything. I think I only had like one F before, and it was I like didn't show up. The teacher gave me a chance, and I just didn't follow through, and so I got an F. But like getting an F is hard.
No, I feel like I always
Is
got
it hard
Fs.
to get an F?
I was thinking like I always had Fs on my report. The only thing I would pass was math because I liked it.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's hard to get an F because you're a smart person. So there's no reason for you to have a
See, but
report
that's
card
not a
full of
teacher's
Fs.
judgment. Like the teacher shouldn't be like you're too smart. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get an F because I know you're not trying. Like that's not your fucking judgment, dog. Your judgment is, you know what I'm saying?
No, but my point is that when I say it's hard to get an F, like you have to like try to get an F. Meaning,
no, that's what I'm saying. No, it's that mentality that you just.
You can't just get an F if you do everything that you're supposed to be doing.
True.
You can't get an F.
I got Fs.
And you did what you're supposed to do.
Yes, it's just a matter of the teacher believing more.
It's not
of
true
me.
because the points don't lie. If you did all your work and got your points.
If I tried, like, okay, if regardless, like you would take tests. Tests were my thing that I couldn't pass. That was it.
What was it? I'm just curious. Like, what do you mean?
I could do the homework, but tests bring your grade down a lot. So I would always fail tests.
I'm asking about the test. Like, how come you couldn't do? How come? I'm just curious. Like, how come you can't perform well on tests? I've heard people like that, but I don't
know.
You couldn't remember stuff.
The only thing I could perform in was math. I could do math tests fast. I could do all that fast. English, history. I walked in knowing. Like I was like, dude, I try to remember. You studied the night before in the morning. And I still just like D, F. I was like, you know what? It ain't for me. But the teacher would give me an F because they'd be like, I know you could do better than this. It's like, maybe I am doing my best, bro. I am a smart kid, but maybe I am doing my best. And like, it just ain't to the standard.
Maybe you should be in a slower class, huh?
Anyways. Okay, so yeah. That's what you've been up to. I don't know
how do we get
there.
I don't know. How do we get there?
Know.
We started talking about resolutions.
Oh my gosh, resolutions.
Resolutions.
Yeah. Did you have any resolutions, or are you just like kind of?
No, I've had like resolutions with myself, but they wasn't like top of the year. But it was like I need to make a change, and like this is the change I'm gonna make.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into some topics we have for the day. Let's talk about choices.
Okay. What about them? We make thousands of them a day.
We make thousands of them a day, and you're only one decision away from ruining your life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. Choose 3.
Health, wealth, love, happiness. That's tough. So I think I would do. Happiness is like what everybody is like striving for, right? So happiness. I'd want to be healthy for as long. I want to be healthy. And love or wealth. Wealth.
So, health, wealth, and happiness.
Yeah. Because with happiness, there's something about my life that
you're content with.
I'm content with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. And health is wealth. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth, really. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about money, cha-ching, give you that, I'll take that too.
Right. Right.
And if I can find happiness within that, just me, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I can't like still date. Mm-hmm. I just won't be in love. Mm-hmm. That's okay. If I don't have it my whole life, I'll never know what I'm missing.
Yeah.
So.
100%. I think I probably select the same. I think I go health for sure. Uh-huh. Happiness for sure. Uh-huh. I'll take a little money too. I'll take a little moolah.
Take a little coin, yeah.
I'll take a little coin. Because, like you said, if I'm happy, I'm content with however my life. I'm content with not being in love.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously the alternative is the opposite. So, meaning like.
So what's the opposite of love?
you're just not in love. You don't have love in your life.
Because it's like you can still have kids, right? But do you not experience love within that child either?
I suppose, right? Like love is not a part of, like,
Your
yeah,
life,
it's not a part of your life.
So you must not see your kid then.
Right, that could, right, exactly. You could have all the money, be healthy, but you're, I guess, and be happy, but you don't have the love of who you want it from. But you're
That's still
happy
deep. Yeah.
with what you're content.
Yeah.
You know?
I choose happiness because I'll be happy a lot longer than, and at some point my kid got to take responsibility for their own self. Like me not being there, like they gonna have to get over it. That's their journey. Like I feel bad, but again, like that's their journey to heal themselves. For real, think about it.
I've been thinking about it.
That's like teaching somebody without teaching them. Like I'm gonna put you through some things.
For sure.
To make you better for the other side.
Okay.
That's a real parent. You know what I mean?
All right.
Did they say to be a parent you have to love?
You don't have to do anything except
there you go.
Stay black and die, I guess.
Okay. That was good.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That was fire.
That was a good one, I think, too.
Love, because I was just thinking a lot of people probably are gonna pick love over money.
Because some people might choose love, happiness, and health.
Those are extroverts.
They don't have, but like I was saying was, right, like whatever you don't choose is like you have the alternative. So like if you don't choose wealth, you can not have any money.
Yeah.
You're not homeless, but you don't. You're not homeless,
uh-huh.
but you just don't have any money. Yeah, any excess. Exactly.
Yeah.
And which is fine which would be totally cool for some people.
Yeah, for some people.
Some people.
Yeah. I need me an espresso machine.
You know how I'm curious about a lot of stuff.
Oh my god, this is like a movie.
I looked up this video on like surviving a sinking ship.
Okay.
And so there was a myth that when a ship sinks, it's like a vacuum and it pulls everything that's around it down into the water with it. And I looked it up and it said that's false. And so what it was saying was you actually want to stay on the boat as long as you can, because one of the reasons that you don't want to get off early is, say you don't have a life vest, so now you're floating in the water for longer than you need to. And then if you wait till the last minute, you're less likely to injure yourself. And instead of jumping off the boat, just kind of like letting your body kind of float off into the water as you begin to touch it.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then but then also I looked into, that kind of led me into how to survive a fall without a parachute.
That led you into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like how to survive.
What are your plans for this year?
And so I was like, well, this is interesting. So what it said was, say for whatever reason you like fall off of a cliff or you're falling from a plane.
Okay.
And your parachute won't open. I mean, it says your best chances to increase your chances of survival.
Okay.
You want to land on whatever can decelerate your fall. So meaning fall into a tree, because the branches will slow you down before you hit the ground level. It's all gonna hurt. Let's be clear. It's all gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But they're saying you're better likely to survive if you're falling through a tree.
You added 5%.
Right.
Because all I'm thinking about is the Jurassic Park when they found that dude hanging in the tree. He had a parachute. Remember that? I'm like, nah.
He didn't make it, but it's not 100%.
Well, obviously,
but it's increasing your chances. Like they said, snow, a rooftop.
Yeah, a roof I can see. Well, no. If it's like one of them skyscrapers, it's a wrap. See, I feel like though you say all this, I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna die in midair just out of a heart attack.
That could happen.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's
probably
more
my character than like letting myself hit some trees and be like, I hope I like nah.
That's crazy.
So what I mean, okay, I was gonna say what would you do, but it's just like I guess you land in trees.
It totally depends on where you are, right? Yeah, if you're skydiving over like
what if it's a whole bunch of like just
grasslands?
Land? Yeah,
then you know
it's a wrap.
It ain't gonna work out. They say well, the next best thing is to try to land on your feet.
No fucking way.
Yeah, they try to land on your feet because you don't want to land like on your butt because that'll compress your spine and paralyze you. And so, like, if anything,
my bones are probably gonna go all up inside.
You break
of me.
your fall with your feet. Like that's kind of in general. If you're falling from somewhere, like wherever, you want to at least hit your feet first if you can. It's gonna like break your ankles maybe, but
it's gonna my ankles and knees.
You're
falling at probably 1,000 miles an hour.
Your body might break, but you'll survive.
Imagine hitting. Imagine hitting a car. I mean, being in a car and it's going at that 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
You okay? And then imagine you're falling from the sky at 1,000 miles an hour.
But you're not.
All right, what do you think it is?
You're probably falling at like, well, it depends on your body weight, right? The lighter you are.
Can you just give me an average what you think we falling at?
Yeah, let's say the average. Okay, yeah, you're probably. Let's say you're falling at 100 miles per hour. You said 1,000.
I mean, it's not 100. You're going faster than that. You are falling from out of
but we have to understand. I think it's called max terminal velocity, where a certain object can only fall so fast. Like if you drop a bowling ball from an airplane.
Yeah.
It's not an infinite speed that it'll hit. Like it'll hit a certain speed and won't surpass that speed. It's called terminal velocity. So like if you dropped an elephant from an airplane, the elephant and the bowling ball will be falling at different speeds, even if you drop them at the same time.
Because
of the weight.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, it depends on how heavy you are, but the average person, let's say, is 120 pounds.
Well, I am definitely lighter than a. Oh, am I heavier than a bowling ball? Is that what those numbers are on there? Because I was about to say I'm definitely lighter than a bowling ball, but
Chelsea,
I pick up a bowling ball. So.
Chelsea,
all right, lighter than a couple of them. You put them all together.
Chelsea.
All right. Anyways,
let's talk about how one word makes a big difference in a statement.
Well, duh, you learn that in English.
Mm-hmm.
You forget a word, and you could be.
Well, you failed you failed English, so.
Well, yeah, but I failed because of the test, not because I didn't understand it. Ooh, watch yourself. Negro.
So,
okay, like what? Like what?
So if we say Peter is religious versus Peter went religious,
yeah,
there's a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
one is like a Bible thumpers. Is that what they're called? The ones that like can't
like,
not talk about the
like
the word.
they went full
like all they do is
they went full religious.
Yeah, you don't talk to them no more.
Yeah, so like so and so is crazy, versus so and so went crazy.
Oh yeah, but see, also went crazy could be a moment in time. Now is crazy is permanent. That's who they are, and that is it. But went crazy, it was like, oh, they had a bad day, and they,
Yeah, for
sure. For sure. Yo, have you heard that Maya Angelou is going to be on the quarter?
Okay, cool.
All right, they're going to have her in front of an eagle.
For sure.
Spread with her arms open.
Okay.
On the back of who's on the quarter? It's not Washington. It is Washington.
It's Washington. I got some
Let
heat.
it out, man.
Well,
Charizard it up,
not
bro.
that having heat, but it's just like, what relevance is a coin as a quarter today? That's like when I heard, they're gonna put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Okay, no one's using money anymore. Like that's what I'm saying. You're giving us things that are totally irrelevant.
Would Maya Angelou want to be on the back of the quarter?
Yeah, it's always
sharing space with George Washington.
We didn't ask. Who asked for that? I didn't take a.
But again, it's kind of like when we talked about them taking Aunt Jemima off the syrup, or Uncle Ben off the rice. I'm like, we didn't ask for that.
It's literally them deciding to put her on and then deciding to take her off. It ain't no one else talking about, hey man, let's vote to get Aunt Jemima off these syrup.
No, it's white people being like, what can we do? And they come up with the. I don't even want to talk about them. Sorry, you just pissed me off.
Well.
Because it is white people making decisions, always. We ain't making no decision about who's going on the goddamn coins.
Yeah.
We also ain't asked for it.
I don't even think we asked for Black History Month.
Facts. Yeah, exactly.
To be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, like it's weird. It's like they think that, okay, the black people need help. Let's help fix the blacks. Let's give them a month.
How we want to help and how we think we should help.
Yeah, how we think we should help.
But this is also how you thought you should create a world, a country.
Right.
And it's been all wrong.
And then I don't want this to get spun like, oh, you don't want white people to help black people or whatever. I'm like, no, that's not the thing. They're
not helping us.
It's not the point. It's the fact that we're looked at as always needing a nurturer. Like, like if a black person wants to make it, he's gonna need some help
from a white body person.
Yeah, like the white savior mentality kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a weird dynamic because like,
yeah, they'll never be right in giving.
Like
and
they
we'll
put us in
never
this
be.
position to have to need them to have to need them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like in an office building, they'll be like, "Oh, we're diverse."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you'll go in there and you'll be like, "Oh, it is diverse." But then the person that runs that whole office is white.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how diverse are you?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you see, they're like, "Oh, we're so diverse." Walmart, Target, da da da. And then you see like all the CEOs and da da da, and like they all, but always one. They always leave one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always one other
Mm-hmm.
in there. But it's just like, bro, that's not what we mean. Like they're starting at the bottom of like giving us shit. But like to do the low level shit, like the bagger's black or the bagger's, Latin or whatever the other is, it's like that's not enough diversity for me.
Right.
We're asking for other shit.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, right? I mean, it could be looked at, okay, here's a starting point for you.
I mean, I guess. Or they could just listen to us. Because we see the problems, right? It's like a bully, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bullying just out of who they are. And it's not until they get smacked up and start feeling it themselves that they realize, oh, that's what bullying was. Like that's how I was affecting somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And like white people have never been smacked back yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
To really be able to say, this is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, I think, natural, right? It's hard to relate to something you've never experienced.
But they want to lead
But they want to lead the charge.
the process.
Yeah.
They want to lead what they give us. They want to lead how we go about it as a nation.
Yeah.
And that's the part that sucks, I think.
Yeah.
It keeps us in a hamster wheel.
Yeah. I follow you.
Yeah.
But, I just recently kind of just started not hearing this, but I like heard it and then try to look into it. How segregation hurt the black community.
For sure.
Did not empowered it.
For sure. Like Martin Luther King, his dream didn't come true at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He saw us building together but separate. Do you see what I'm saying?
Go into it.
I think his dream was that we can go places and still be around each other, but like he still wanted us to rise up.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not, as a black community in our place in society in the United States of America, we're not moving up.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're not together.
We're not equal.
Yeah.
And until that happens, it's like, especially when it's the nation that literally murdered him, assassinated him, and then gives him a fucking day, and then preaches to everybody that his dream came true.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
I forgot what I said.
Yeah, I forgot too.
Oh, it's segregation.
Oh,
right. Yeah, because you got into it. Yeah, because I mean, when we were independent, okay, we were grown. We had our own independent businesses, banks, a lot of black-owned things.
Right.
Because we were all together, and then when segregation happened, that all just gets diluted because we no longer have independent black things. We have to now we're integrated with everybody else.
Right.
Which reduced our individual power.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've said this already, but like when we got freed, any job, they were just given to the white people, not us. Mm-hmm. So then we had to go pretty much still be slaves. Oh, okay. You see what I'm saying? Like we were free, but no one's gonna take us in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Those first few years, I'm sure those first few generations of people was rough.
And like I couldn't even imagine being part of a people not as connected as we are, right? Still find a way to move us forward. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me.
Wait,
like even when the Million Man March happened, how
was it so big? So
without
strong, without
Instagram? You know what I mean? My brain can't really fathom that. Like I'm like, whoa, what?
The desire for change was that big.
The desire for change was that big. Think about how disconnected we were as far as space. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now we have even more opportunity, and we're unable to do that.
Right. Come together.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy to me sometimes. I'm like, whoa.
No, I feel you. And I think at this point, that could be lost. Like, I don't think we can say, in 10 years, then all the black people come together. I think the world in general is just sort of becoming more separate individuals because, like, social media keeps people at a distance from each other. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that, sure, online, you know what I mean? But that's all online present. So some people might be like, oh, I'm an advocate for bringing black people, black groups together. Mm-hmm. But like no one's leaving their house because no one. At the end of the
You're
day,
a
like,
standalone advocate.
yeah, it's
Really.
like, yeah, you're an online advocate, sure. You have a
An
group.
online
You're an
advocate. Say that
online
again.
advocate. Like, so you might be the leader of a forum where you
Right.
have 15,000 members,
Right.
200,000 members, but like
And that's all talk, no act.
that's what
And
I'm
not in a way
saying.
of like no action, but like no physical
Yeah,
action.
yeah. I just don't know what it looks like moving forward. Like, because yeah, like it doesn't seem like black people have taken any steps towards working together more.
Okay, I kind of agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
but then what came to my mind is I bet you a lot of people are scared. Think about how many times we've had leaders or groups and they've been dismantled by the government.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can understand the black people being scared. Like I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be the leader. Like you know what I mean. But I also understand that we do need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, where do you think it starts? Finances, right?
It starts with a radical motherfucker, man.
Yeah, but what I was also going to lead into is like I think the future of like people, the future of civilization, I think that we're getting further away from focusing on like those like race is important, but I think in the future we're gonna have bigger problems, whether it be climate change, outside maybe like I'm not aliens, but like we're gonna start discovering things in space, and I think that eventually our attention will be off of black white problems, like systematic problems. I think it's gonna be more about
Worldly
world issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think that we're never gonna have a big black empowerment movement, like you would say, like the Panthers had.
You think as the world starts to blend, it becomes
exactly the world's blending,
the same shade.
Exactly that the world's
our
blending.
Problems
Our problems are
shift as well.
changing. Yeah, I think our focus is just shifting, right? Just evolving into a new way of life. I think that's what I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I hope it doesn't have to. I don't know.
Because okay, let's just say like for example,
I would want a radical movement though. I would want.
I would
them to
love
understand.
I would love one. I think realistically, I think that people are blending together, and because people are blending together, you have less
Targeted.
all black people. Like you know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
I mean like what I mean is like when races blend, you have less. The races get diluted, however you want to put it. Like right?
I mean, I guess
If I'm black
but it doesn't change your mindset.
No, it doesn't change your mindset. But what I'm saying what it does change is the experience of that person.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Because what I'm saying is, say you have two black parents, and then say you have that's one family, and then you have a family that's one black parent, one Asian parent.
Mm-hmm.
So two black parents, the kid's gonna be a darker kid, whatever, it's gonna be a lighter kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think also that the other influences of that other half, the Asian half, is just going to influence totally different than the two black. I just think it's going to change. Where like, and if there's more of the intermixing happening, you have less focus on just the black. You kind of follow what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying, but again, it could be a mindset. Because let's say,
because the further along it goes,
let's say two parents have a daughter and she has another kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they're going to be the grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that kid is mixed.
Mm-hmm.
They take custody of that kid and then raise them with the mindset of how they think.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
From a child,
Mm-hmm.
that child is still gonna think like those white people.
How when the daughter not necessarily
Well,
didn't.
that's why I said they took custody. Like skip, like just let's say they took that out.
Okay.
That kid is still gonna be able to be manipulated into a mindset that their grandparents have.
But it might not be the case. Well, yeah, sure, but just like the daughter didn't, because obviously she had an interracial relationship. The daughter didn't heed to that information. So who's to say the grandchild will?
We could think about Rachel Dolezal, right?
Okay.
She had interracial relationships and stuff like that, but her family didn't seem all too keen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it could still be like that. It's a mindset more than I'm saying it is like a household or your parents. Since your parents are going to be mixed,
but the mindset is usually based off of experiences. You don't just get a mindset out of thin air. You get a mindset from past experiences and what people tell you.
Right.
Right. So I'm saying if you have a different experience than someone,
but as long as that mindset is being passed on, is all I'm saying.
For sure. But what I'm getting at is it's becoming less and less difficult to sustain that mindset when everything is so mixed nowadays. Okay. So right, if your grandparents telling you, "Oh, all black people are suck and they're crazy," oh, well, you watch basketball every week, Grandpa. Yeah, I know, but that's different. And you're like, okay, right. Already
I
then,
didn't think about
the
that.
kids like, things just aren't
Okay.
quite adding up.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't have any white grandparents. Tell me
I
black
don't
people
know.
ain't cool.
But I just think,
Yeah, that's interesting.
mm-hmm.
All right. Well, guess what, Sonny?
What?
It's been another episode of the Coach Menu podcast, baby.
Mm.
Episode 40.
Not to cut you.
Okay.
But before we
Oh,
go,
you
let's
cut
let the
me.
people know that there's some updates. We're gonna start to try this multicam thing. We're gonna try.
No, hold
We're
me
gonna
to
try
that.
to. We're gonna try
Stop,
to.
chill.
We're gonna try to bring you guys
Just show
some
'em.
more guests.
Just show them, chill.
We got a lot lined up for 2022.
Chill. It's been another episode of the Coach Me podcast with your host Chelsea and my favorite co-host
Lisani. It's not yet. You say something else. I said, let me sing us out the episode.
Oh, tap in. It's been so long. Tap in.